A very good morning, students. Welcome to the HRM class. Today we shall discuss the topic called functions of human resource management. So in today's class we shall discuss the functions of human resource management. So let's start our class. So broadly speaking, the HRM functions are categorized into two. One is managerial functions, the other one is operative functions. Under managerial functions, we have planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Under operative functions, we have procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance. So under procurement, we have functions like job analysis, human resource planning, recruitment, selection, placement, induction, transfer, promotion, separation. So all these things, all these aspects, all these tasks, they come under the function called procurement. Similarly, under development, we have performance appraisal, training, executive development, career planning and development. These come under development. Under compensation, we have job evaluation, wage and salary administration, bonus and incentives, and payroll. Under integration, we have motivation, job satisfaction, grievance redressal, collective bargaining, conflict management, participation of employees and discipline. These tasks, they come under integration. Similarly, tasks like health, safety, social security, welfare schemes, personal records, personal research, personal audit. Now these particular things, they come under the maintenance function. So now let us look at the managerial functions of HR. So there are 5 managerial functions of HR, and they are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and control. These 5 are the managerial functions of HR. Now let us look at the first one, that is nothing but planning. So planning here, under this function, the HR has to plan the manpower. Look at what are the requirements for this particular manpower. Say for example, organization, in case of new organizations, we'll have to plan, right, how many people we are going to require to start a business organization and at what designations and so on and so forth. Right, initially we'll draw out the various departmentations. First identify the departmentation, and in each departmentation how many people. Now similarly, in case of existing organizations, some organizations undergo a business process restructuring. So we are going to make a lean organization into flat organization, or we are going to do some rejigging. Alright, so whenever we do this particular restructuring of the entire organization, some designations are removed and some designations are changed. Alright, so we are going to, in case in place of sales executive or something like that, we call them as business development executive, sales manager, business development manager. So like this, we are going to do some restructuring and all. There again, we need this particular thing called as planning. Right, so what do we have to do in this function? We have to know, right, we have to determine how many, what number and what type of employees we need on board, we need in an organization to fulfill or to accomplish the organizational goals. Now that's the planning. Now once we plan, then we are going to organize. So then we are going to draw the skeleton. So HR department skeleton, marketing department skeleton, right, and then this finance and accounts department skeleton in the sense here hierarchical structures. What is the highest designation and what is the lowest designation, connecting the highest and the lowest designation, in between how many designations we need, right. So that we are going to do, and once we identify the various designations, then we'll have to do the job analysis for that, right. So what is the role, what are the responsibilities, and in order to fulfill this role and responsibilities, what eligibility that particular person should possess, his educational qualifications and the eligibility criteria, age criteria, experience criteria, so certain times gender criteria. So all these things we will do. So that's the organizing part, right. Departmentation we done, and then from the departmentation doing this particular hierarchical structure, and for each designation doing the job analysis. Now once that is done, then we go for staffing. So what we are going to do here is we are going to hire manpower. right? So the responsibilities and everything is already given. So we have to, so what we are going to do based on the organization, based on the job analysis that we have done, we are going to release a recruitment notification. Now based on the recruitment notification, people apply. So from those particular set of people, we identify the right person with the right attitude, conducting a series of tests, group discussions, interviews and all. Finally, we select that particular guy who fits into that particular job. So that's our staffing. Now once the staffing is done, we'll have to direct them, we'll have to provide them training, we'll have to turn their knowledge into skill. Application of knowledge becomes a skill. So he has got certain knowledge which he has gained from certain education institutions. Now this particular knowledge we have to turn into a skill. Or maybe he is coming from a different industry, right? From pharma industry he entered into insurance industry, or in insurance industry a person entered into FMCG industry. Now we'll have to direct him, we'll have to tell him how to carry about his role, how to carry about his responsibilities. So we'll have to show him the path. So that comes under our directing. And finally we'll have to control him. Now how are we going to control him? So we are going to do a performance appraisal, evaluation of the work that he has done, and based on his particular evaluation we are going to tell him, right? If the evaluation is good and if his performance is really good, then we are going to encourage him by giving better increments. And if the evaluation is very bad and it is pathetic, then we are going to warn him, give him a memo. If the same performance continues, we'll have to remove you from the organization. Alright, so two such things. Apart from this, in the regular day-to-day operations, we have protocols, we have procedures, we have policies. So these protocols, procedures, policies, they are again part of our controlling. So these are the managerial functions of human resource management. Now we'll look into the operative functions of human resource management. So broadly speaking, the operative functions of human resource management come under employment, deployment, compensation and employee relations. So first one, when we look at the recruitment and selection, see now this particular operative functions are based on the kind of work that you do in the organization, right? So based on the kind of the work that is being carried out, that is being done by HR people in the organization, we happen to identify this particular operative functions here. So the first one is the recruitment and selection. In case of this particular recruitment and selection, right, identifying the right person, first we'll have to motivate these people to apply for a job, that is called as recruitment, right? So here, how do we motivate this particular people? That's what we see in this recruitment part. Once the moment the person is motivated and then he applies for the job, recruitment ends there, and from there selection process takes over, right? And we do number of tests. We do this particular EQ test, emotional quotient, IQ, intelligent quotient, SQ, spiritual quotient. We perform number of tests, number of interviews and everything, and finally we finalize on one particular candidate who fits into that particular role. So that's our recruitment and selection. And this recruitment and selection these days is an year-long process. It's not a one-time process or one-day process. It's a year-long process, because employees keep on leaving an organization. It might be because of retirement they leave an organization, or sometimes due to personal reasons they happen to leave an organization. So these vacancies in the organization, they keep popping up. So it is a job of the HR to do prioritize in the selection. They'll have to in R&S they'll have to prioritize which is the most important, which is the least important. Most important job, you'll have to keep people ready. The moment he resigns, immediately from the very next day onwards, we need a person in that particular role there. We need a person in that particular place. Like that, we'll have to plan. Okay. Next is our training and development. In case of our training and development, so the employees who have been recruited, we'll have to train them, right? Give them a familiarity regarding the industry, a familiarity with regarding to the work, and then tell them how their work, to whom they'll have to delegate the work, the people who are going to report to him, for those people how he has to delegate the work, and then who are his superiors and to whom he should be reporting, right? And what is the process or what is the method of reporting, what protocols we have in place when we are reporting to the people in higher authority. Similarly, when we are delegating work to the people under our authority, so all these things are being done here. And as and when there are new changes that are taking place in the industry, and for this particular new changes, again we happen to train them in the new skills, even that also comes. And the development part is like giving an educational qualification, a higher qualification. Generally people with their qualification, post graduation or graduation, join an organization, but to go into the senior management or middle management cadre, we need an MBA, we need a master's in business administration. So here we happen to have a tie with these B schools, most organizations, and then they help their employees in doing their MBA through an executive mode. We have executive MBAs or evening schools or open schools through which they can do this particular MBA, gain the qualification even as they are working, use that to get the promotions. Next is our performance appraisal. So year long what you have done, whether the responsibilities you have shouldered, and whatever objectives that have been given, did you fulfill those objectives? Are you meeting the expectations of your boss, right? Are you encouraging the people working under you? Are you guiding them? Are showing them proper path? All these particular things will be evaluated under this particular function called as performance appraisal, right? So the next part is our wage and salary administration. This again is one of the important functions which is being carried out, and these days this particular wage and salary comes under payroll. Okay, so what is our wage and salary? So in case of this particular wage and salary administration, for the different designations, depending upon the different skill set that is needed for performing the job, we define this particular salaries. Right. So if the responsibilities are more in number, as we move up the career ladder, as we move up the hierarchical structure, responsibilities increase. Right, and the more skills are required, more experience is required. So that's the reason, as you move up the ladder, your salary keeps increasing. So depending on that, we fix this particular salaries. In case of the contract employees, temporary employees, or off-role employees, we fix their wages. Right, we'll have to look into that, and then we happen to fix this particular wages. Right, so this is with regarding to our wage and salary administration. So when we define something called as a salary, how do we define something called as a salary? Salary is nothing but the basic pay plus allowance. In short, it's a sum of benefits. The sum of benefits are, the major benefit is the basic pay, and from depending on the basic pay, we calculate the allowances like dearness allowance, house rent allowance, city compensatory allowance, number of allowances like that, and then we fix this particular salaries. And the last function is our employee welfare. Employee welfare is the last operative function here. Right, now what is this particular employee welfare? Employee welfare entails everything from the services, facilities, benefits that are being provided to the employee. Right, under this particular employee welfare, we have statutory welfare measures, and then we have non-statutory welfare measures. Those particular facilities that you have to compulsory give to the employee, those particular facilities which we can give on your own discretion. Right, and these particular things are listed out in Factories Act 1948, Plantations Act, Mines Act, and things like that. I'm sorry, we have one more one, and the last one is our labor relations, and this is very important. Right, labor India is a very huge. Right, when you look at the numbers, in 2012 there are around 487 people work in India, right, the second largest after China. Of these, 94% people are in the unorganized sectors, and in order to protect the rights of these people working in the unorganized sectors, we have got number of laws, number of legislations like Factories Act, Payment Bonus Act, Trade Unions Act, and all these things protect the workers from being exploited by the employer. They protect his rights, and at the same time they give him a security, they give him an assurance. So that's the important role that is being played by labor relations. So all these things sum up our operating functions. So that's about our functions of human resource management class today. We shall again meet in the new class with a new topic.